going to use this video to help show you how to set up your Diet Analysis Plus software correctly. So there's a couple of different ways that you would have gotten your access code to the software, and if you bought the book physically in store, then you probably or should have bought the bundled book and had the software purchase with it, and there it would have had a card that had your access code in it. If you did it online, same thing, and maybe if you got your book in a different way, maybe you had a used book, got it on Amazon, what have you, you can also go online and get an access code for the analysis software in itself. So however you did it, the first thing you want to make sure that you do is go to the Cengage.com website, which is where I'm at here, and you can see it's simply typed in at the top, Cengage.com. Alright, and for you, since I'm an instructor, some of my views are a little bit different than yours, but I'll show you exactly where yours is, and you just click on the student. And if you already have an account, say you've taken the course in a previous semester or had to use Cengage materials in another course, you can sign in using that course information. If you need to purchase it, however, you can click on the Cengage Brain, and by the way, I did forget to mention that if you had never taken the course before or signed into Cengage Brain, then obviously you can create an account here so that you can get the process started. If you don't have an access key at all, you can click on the Purchase Cengage Brain link there, and it'll bring you to this page. And if you type in, you really just need to type in Diet Analysis Plus 2-term just to come up with what you need to find, which is the software. And if you scroll down below, there it is, and you can see you can purchase it by itself for $51. So if you click on it and go through the whole process of purchasing it, it'll end up in the same result whether you have an access code or not. Alright, now when you successfully log in and enter your access code and everything else, you will end up in a site that looks like this. Now if you've never taken this course before and you've never logged into Diet Analysis Plus, you will actually come up with a new profile screen, and since I've done this before, I go straight into the software with my information already there. Now if I click on the Create New Profile, waiting. Alright, this is what most of your screens will look like, especially if you haven't logged in before. Now, another unique thing is if you have borrowed someone else's Diet Analysis Plus, these are good for 2 semesters, so if you decided to borrow somebody's software that was in the course last semester, then you would want to create a new profile so you can put your information in here and go off of that. As you can see, I already have my information in, and when you complete that new profile screen, that's where your information will go, and there will be several questions about your activity level and so forth. And you want to make sure you answer this honestly, because this coincides with what your calorie needs are and various nutrient needs, and you're going to have to work in this software as part of your assignment. And while you're doing it, you might as well make it useful to yourself and identify areas of improvement, maybe places where you're eating too much of something or too little of something. You might as well make it worth something for you and learn something about yourself. Nobody's really going to see this information but yourself. So if we scroll down, this track diet piece is where you're going to be entering your food logs. You'll notice that your first activity in Unit 1 is going to be to record your food for 3 days, and you actually don't have to use Diet Analysis to submit that assignment. But after Unit 1, you will need to use Diet Analysis, and once you have your food for the 3 days recorded, you might as well type it into here, and then that way it's all in here and ready to go. Okay, because either way you're going to have to type in that 3-day record into here. And so when you go into the track diet section, you can start searching for foods and entering foods based on what you ate for the day. So if I'm saying I ate a hamburger for lunch, I will click hamburger and try to find the best one that matches what I ate. I like hamburgers with tomatoes and ketchup on a bun, so I could pick that one. And you would say, okay, it's one item in this case, and I had it for lunch, and you would save it. Now, if you ate at a fast food restaurant, say maybe you walked to McDonald's and got a hamburger there, there are several fast food information in here, so you should definitely try to search for that. I have found that the system can be kind of fickle, so you see where I've typed in McDonald's the way I did and it didn't come up with anything. But I happen to know that McDonald's is in here, so I just kind of took out the S because it likes the apostrophe apparently. And I say, oh yeah, I had a Big Mac hamburger, and so then I can enter that and say, hey, I had that for lunch. Okay? Now, pretty easy when it's something like that, but if you have cereal and things that need to be measured and have different types of serving sizes to them. So say I had, who knows, Apple Jacks, all brand cereal, I'll pick Apple Jacks. And here you'll see you'll have to enter in a cup to say how much that you ate. So you would have to estimate that and keep that in mind when you're keeping track of your food record. So I'll say, okay, I had 2 cups for breakfast. And remember that I've logged in my cereal, but always think about everything that goes with what you're eating. So for example, I had cereal, I didn't eat it dry, I also had milk. Alright, so I would search for my milk, and I had 1%, and I would say I drank about a cup or had a cup in my cereal and save that for breakfast. Ta-da! So that's all done. That's a good example of how to enter foods, and so you would do that for all days of for the 3 days for your food record: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and any snacks in there. Again, try not to gyp yourself, and here you can change the date to indicate what day it is that you're actually talking about. Alright, so when you're done with that, your food will actually be in the system, and for other projects or assignments in the other units, these are the reports here that you'll be working with. And so when you want to look at your energy balance breakdown, it'll show you a report of that compared to what it is that you actually need every day. So it compares what your body actually needs to what you're actually eating, and so forth. All these different reports here will be very important again for units 2 through 6. Notice there is a course identification number spot here. That is totally irrelevant to this class, so you can just ignore that. You don't have to put anything in this box. It is not necessary whatsoever. Everything you are submitting using diet analysis, you are pulling from these nutrient reports and uploading into Blackboard. Alright, that's it. I'm going to use this video to help show you how to set up your Diet Analysis Plus software correctly. So there's a couple of different ways that you would have gotten your access code to the software, and if you bought the book physically in store, then you probably or should have bought the bundled book and had the software purchase with it, and there it would have had a card that had your access code in it. If you did it online, same thing. And maybe if you got your book in a different way, maybe you had a used book, got it on Amazon, what have you, you can also go online and get an access code for the analysis software in itself. So